Hello everyone and welcome into Senior Living Live. My name is Melissa. We are so glad you could be with us here today on this special edition of Senior Living Live. We are live on location at Delray Beach, Florida to talk about this fantastic community that is currently under construction called the Arbor at Delray. I've got a panel of guests here today. I've got these gentlemen here. I've got Paul Kelly, I've got Eric Francisi here, and these guys are going to start us off. They're going to talk about this community, and this will be a webinar where you could be part of the conversation. So these guys, you're going to hear from them, you're going to hear from me, and we are going to talk for about an hour. So you'll be a part of this, you'll be able to ask questions. In order to do that, you'll just scroll down to the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A, type your questions out there, and I'll be happy to read those to our guest members here today. So back to our gentlemen. Paul, Eric, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Melissa.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys here, looking great. We can kind of catch the community in the background. You might be able to hear some of the tractors and the beeping and the noise of the construction because, hey, it is under construction, but it's going to be finished in 2023. Everybody can start moving in. But those of you who are watching, you probably want to know a little bit more about this community. Do I want to move in here? Well, I'm pretty sure at the end of this webinar, the answer is going to be yes. So first, let's start with Paul. Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for the Arbor Company.
Sure. I'm the Vice President of Operations. Been with Arbor Company for a little over 7 years now, almost 8. And I oversee the operations for the company, and I cover the entire state of Florida. So that's everything from overseeing operations and dining. I'm the guy that oversees it all.
Okay.
Make sure it's working well for our residents and our families.
Fantastic. And Eric?
Thanks, Melissa. I'm the leader of the project, so I'm the executive director. On a daily basis, as of now, during construction, I'm supporting the sales team here at the leasing center. And then after construction, I'll be the leader of the operations on a daily basis, supporting the entire community.
Yeah, so when people come in, you're kind of the first face that they see here in our wonderful trailer that we've got set up for people to look at the blueprints and the floor plans. And so on that end, blueprint, floor plan, you're the guy. Tell us about this community.
Absolutely. So starting with our builder, Alliance Residential, very well known, great reputation in upscale resort style building, multifamily building. They brought that experience here to the Arbor Delray project. It all starts as our main entrance as you walk in. Beautiful high ceilings, open windows to the courtyard and the pool area, which we believe is going to be our heartbeat of the community, right? It all wraps around that. A resort style pool with a sloped walk-in. We have cabanas with televisions by the pool, barbecue grills. We also have a putting green in that area. So it's going to be a great area for the residents and families really enjoy. Then we go to our dining room, very restaurant style, right? So you have your normal round to square tables, you have half booths, you have full booths. We have a large window that looks into the kitchen, so while you dine, your chefs are preparing your food, you can watch that. So we have a private dining room that also overlooks the pool in the courtyard area. Then we move over to our spa, beauty salon. We have a movie theater with stadium-style seating. We have a library. What's great also is that we have different amenities on different floors. So not everything is just on the first floor, right? So we have on the second floor a game room and card room. Third floor we have an art studio. On the fourth floor is some great seating areas, quiet areas for the residents to enjoy. So just a lot of thought went into this community. And not to mention our location, right in the border of Boca Raton and Delray Beach, nestled right between major country clubs, Broken Sound, Polo Club, Addison Reserve. Just a great setting. A lot of our depositors have really said that this is a perfect location for senior living where they can still maintain that resort style lifestyle.
Yeah, a high-end area with high-end living at this particular community that really matches.
Absolutely.
I love it. Great. So, we talk about the interior, and we promise you'll get to see what that looks like. You heard about it, but you get to see it coming up here in just a few minutes, so you want to stick around for that. But what does it mean to be an Arbor community, Paul?
Arbor Company's been in existence for over 35 years now, and we've been passionately serving seniors for all of that time. We were recently named Best Senior Living by U.S. News and World Report, Fortune's Best Workplace in Aging Services, and also Great Place to Work. We're very proud of those awards. Arbor Company really cares about our residents and our families, and also we care about our team members. We know that long-tenured, happy team members take great care of our residents, and that's really what we want at the end of the day.
Yeah, so when we talk about that sort of staff, who are we looking at? Who will people see when they walk in day to day? What kind of staff members are we talking about here?
There are all sorts of staff members. You
Yeah.
have your executive team, which is a team led by Eric that oversees each of the departments in the community: dining, maintenance, engagement, things like that, nursing as well. We also have, servers and executive chefs
Yeah.
and caregivers and engagement staff. Just everything that we want so the residents can live their best life at our community.
Yeah, and so we talk about how beautiful the building is, but what really makes it special, what makes Arbor community special, are the people.
Correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm glad you pointed that out. And the awards are icing on the cake. I would
Exactly.
think.
Exactly.
Yeah, excellent. So we talk about the design, right? So how is that unique to this market?
So in terms of this, the elevated senior living, so as we talked about, our Builder Alliance has really put a project together like you wouldn't see in senior living in terms of just the aesthetics itself of the building itself, the resort style, the very high end, and you really don't see that in senior living, especially in the rental side. So we are a rental community. We're not a buy-in, so that's a huge asset for us at the Arbor of Delray in our residents.
Yeah, and we talk about a little bit about the services and amenities. We talked about what it looks like, but on the services and amenities side of things, what will people expect, guys?
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of different amenities that are going to be very resort style. So whether it's the beauty salon and the spa, so full spa services. We'll have 24-hour concierge, so there'll always be staff on site.
That's great, yeah.
For anything that a resident might need, whether it's in the middle of the night or in the morning. We'll have 24-hour support for them. We'll also have very, very resort style dining. So we're going to have a bistro where you can have light snacks, you can have drinks, you can buy something out of the bistro, or you can have the sit down meal. As everyone will hear Ryan later on, we're going to have a very, very very high end menu and different items to choose from. So those are some of the resort style amenities that we're going to have.
Yeah, so you alluded to it. We're going to have a couple more people on this panel. So we're going to talk about engagement. We're going to talk about dining, which is important. Guys, we appreciate you being here. Eric, we'll see you in a little bit. And we did promise that interior look. We're going to show you that right now. Take a peek.
Hi, as you can see here at the Arbor at Delray, we're well under construction, but every day that goes by, we're closer to our residents being able to move into this beautiful community. As most communities, they all have an entrance, but ours is that enhanced entrance that you'll see. As you come into the community, on your left side is going to be the 24-hour concierge that opens up into a main seating room that overlooks the courtyard and the pool area. Off the living room area, that leads you into the bistro and the main dining room, which also has a private dining room that overlooks the courtyard and the pool area. Also in our common areas on the first floor, we have our beauty salon, we have our movie theater, we have the gym, and a yoga center. We're so looking forward to you being able to call the Arbor Delray your home.
And welcome back to our webinar, our live webinar, the Arbor at Delray. Joining me now is Chris Frankel. We talked about the wonderful community, and we mentioned that we will speak about engagement, and you are the go-to person for this. Chris, we love having you on the program all the time. We're so glad you could make the time to be with us here today. So on the engagement side of things, what can people expect?
Well, thank you. It's great to be here with you,
Yeah,
Melissa.
thanks.
Here at the Arbor at Delray, people can expect so many great things. As Eric referenced earlier, this is a resort style living. He referenced some of the areas. So I like to refer to engagement as kind of living your third act of life, right? Your first act is you grow up and you start your trade or you go to school. Your second act is you raise your family. And now your third act is when you get to reap all those benefits and live your life the way you want to live it and do things that you were never able to do or have time to do. And that could include, learning a new language. That could include doing exercise classes that you've never done before. That could include travel, making new friends, whatever it is, but now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and in a community like this one, that's included. And I think people sometimes say, well, I could live at home. I could just, be at my house. But you don't get that interaction, do you?
You don't. No, and like you heard earlier, there are so many different places here that you can interact with people, right? So you can focus on your health and wellness, where you can go to the gym and you can do exercise classes, you can work on the machines, you can do a yoga class. If that's not your taste, then maybe you're more social and you can go sit in one of those cabanas out by the pool and hang out with your friends and have a cocktail in the afternoon at the pool. You can go to the theater and watch a movie. You can read a book in the library. There are so many different options that you can do and be so, as busy or as homebody as you like to be, because we celebrate individuality.
Yeah, so we talked about some things that somebody can do if they're really social, right? But there's a great pool with cabanas here. What could a day look like for people on both ends of the spectrum?
Okay, so let's say you're an active people person. You could get up in the morning, go have a nice coffee with some of your friends out by the pool, and then go do an exercise class, and then maybe go to a lunch and learn where you're chatting about things or your health and wellness. And then in the afternoon, you might go on a trip outside in the outside community of Delray. Or if you're more of a homebody and you want to stay in, you could focus on doing maybe a one-on-one exercise with the fitness director, and maybe sitting in one of those lovely cabanas watching your soap opera in the afternoon by the pool with a cocktail, and then maybe sitting in the library in the afternoon reading a nice book.
Yeah, so all of these things sound great, but there's a reason why every single Arbor community has an engagement director, why there are engagement opportunities. Why do we do this?
We do this because, research has shown that people need to be social. We need people. And the engagement person, the engagement professional, works with our residents to see what you all want to do, because it's your home, right? And we just focus on what you enjoy, and then we work to facilitate it so that we can do something for everyone and make sure that you're living your best life and doing what you want to do.
I think that is a great sentence to end this segment on. Chris Frankel, thank you. We'll see you in a bit. Thank you for being with me. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you'll be able to ask Chris questions again at the end of the webinar. It's a good time to get your questions into the chat box. Scroll down to the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A. Type your questions out there, and I'll be happy to read them to Chris and the rest of our panel towards the end of the webinar. So Chris mentioned all these great engagement opportunities. One really cool aspect of this community here at Delray is that it is a stone's throw away from the beautiful Murakami Gardens. We stopped by there yesterday, and we want you to take a look.
Welcome, my name is Bonnie White LeMay. I'm the museum director at the Murakami Museum in Japanese Gardens. We're very eager to start a relationship with Arbor. We're so glad that they're in our immediate neighborhood. And we look forward to meeting each and every one of you for this exciting experience that will include not only visits to our galleries, which are rotating exhibits annually, but also can include daily experiences in the gardens. We have 7/8 of a mile stroll with 6 distinct period Japanese gardens, along with a beautiful cafe and a museum store. Throughout the year, there's opportunities that each and every one of you can participate in with regard to classes, events, and activities. I look forward to meeting you, and I look forward to seeing you participate in each and every one of our wonderful activities here at the Murakami Museum in Japanese Gardens.
And welcome back into our live webinar at Delray Beach, Florida, the Arbor at Delray. Joining me now is Ryan King, and this is the guy that you really want to hear from, okay? We're talking food, which is very important, and for a lot of people, it actually makes the decision for them. Is the food good? Is it not good? Because I'm not going to go somewhere where the food is not good. The good news is, guys, the food is going to be fantastic here. Tell us about it.
So as a standard at the Arbor Company, we really like to incorporate the individual regions for their food and individual preferences of the residents. So if you move in here, you'll have direct access to discuss with our director of dining, the executive chef, menu likes, menu dislikes, things you want to see on the menu. So we try and tailor these menus seasonally and regionally to what the residents themselves like, with an extreme emphasis on, local produce. Beautiful location down here in Florida, so there's plenty of opportunities for great seafood, whether it be grouper, mahi, pompano, things along those natures. So we really like to have that fresh component for the residents on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah, and this is a guy who knows a lot about fresh, especially seafood, because you have experience in this area. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. So I've been with the Arbor Company for about 5 years now, and I've been in senior living for 10, but in my previous life, I was in the restaurant hotel world. So I actually worked, when it was a Waldorf Astoria property, I worked at the Boca Resort and Club down the street from here. So I'm very familiar with the area, the clientele, the food, everything along those lines.
So of course we want things to taste good, but we've got to have that fine balance with healthy food and food that tastes good. How do you make that work?
Absolutely. So so the big thing is, first off, the food should be visually appealing.
Sure.
So we ensure that every plate is garnished so that it looks beautiful, restaurant quality, stuff that you'd see if you went to any restaurant in Boca, Delray, it'll look like that. When it comes to the menu itself, obviously we want to have those healthy components. So we have some initiatives when it comes to superfoods, where we partner up with engagement, monthly, focus on a different superfood every single month, do educational series, incorporate that into the menus for the month, so that, some of the stuff might be new. Some people might not have ever eaten quinoa or ancient grains or things along those lines, and it gives an opportunity for us to showcase, educate about the wellness components of it, and allow you guys to try some stuff that you might not have ever had in your entire life.
That's fantastic. That sounds good. Can I move in now?
By all means.
Okay.
I'm not finished yet, but
I might not be in the right age range. But so we talk about all this great food, right? And we here at this community will have independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So the food it may taste the same, but it sort of changes depending on who's getting served. So can we talk a little bit about the Dining with Dignity program that we'll see in memory care?
Absolutely. So we don't change. So the menu will not change. So whether you're in independent living, assisted living, memory care, doesn't change. Whatever is being offered in one area is going to be offered across the entire community. Right. The only difference is as you age, and sometimes there's becomes health issues when it comes to chewing, swallowing, things along those nature. So what the Dining with Dignity program is it's a modified diet that's safe for across everything, as long as it's not, somebody's not on a puree diet. And basically what we do is we take the menu items, they get ran through a grinder and then reformed into beautiful individual bite-sized portions. So there's a few different methods utilizing everything from puff pastry. Some look like little meatballs. Some look like little cakes. So the presentation, the taste, everything along those lines is going to be the same across the board. The only difference is the food is modified in the back end to make it safe for anybody with a swallowing issue. Yeah. And it's also great if somebody were to develop something along the lines of Parkinson's or something else where the dexterity issues becomes a problem. It's all designed to be able to be picked up, dunked in a sauce, and eaten that way. So
yeah, that's fantastic. So everybody has options, and everybody's getting the same thing on the menu.
Absolutely, 100% across the board. Nothing changes. If you're in assisted living, we're memory care. Mine and the company's philosophy is it's the same across the board. There's no difference between them.
I love that. Perfect. So what will a day look like for dining options for people that are here?
So obviously you'd start your day off with breakfast. So you can come down to the dining room, get breakfast. If you don't want a heavier breakfast, there's also the bistro that Eric mentioned, where you can go grab a cup of coffee, maybe a piece of fruit, some Danish muffin, something along those lines, a little bit lighter fare. You can sit down, read the newspaper, kick back with your friends. Then we have the bar bistro area as well. If you wanted to come down, get some lunch, we'll have a whole menu tailored toward that space. So you want to come down, get a flatbread pizza, a burger, a chicken sandwich, something along that, a salad, something along those lines. You can get that at lunchtime. And then dinner time, obviously dinner time is where we like to show off the most. That's, typically the heavier meal of the day for everybody, and the one that pretty much everybody comes down to on a daily basis. So that's where you're going to see, we typically run a 5-week cycle type menu that's all seasonally based. So it'll rotate through, and then those are just for your specials. You're going to have an entire restaurant style menu with options that are available every day as well. So you come down, you want to get one of the specials, that's fantastic. If you want the piece of grouper that's on the always available menu, by all means get that. But there's plenty of options for everybody to choose from, whether you're a vegetarian or you're a carnivore and just want to eat meat.
Yeah. So you talk about all these great options, and now you were kind enough to put a video together to show people what these dining options look like. We're going to take a look at that. Ryan, we'll see you in a minute. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. I'm super excited to show you all the dining options that we have available at the Arbor Delray. Our bistro area has the feeling of an upscale coffee shop. You can come in each morning to find fresh coffee and pastries or to grab a newspaper. This is a great time to meet with friends for conversations and plan your day's activities. The bar is a beautiful space that is perfect for pre-dinner drinks and happy hours. Whether you choose to sit at the bar or have a more intimate conversation with a friend at one of our bar tables. Our dining room has a beautiful open air feel, has plenty of natural light, has floor-to-ceiling wine walls, and is the perfect blend of modern and traditional that fits so well with its location in the heart of the community. I can't think of a better place to end your day with a signature meal prepared just for you by our dining team. I can't wait for you to dine at the Arbor at Delray.
And welcome back in to our live edition of Senior Living Live here at Delray Beach, Florida, to talk about the Arbor at Delray. And I've got our panel here. We've got Chris, we've got Ryan, we've got Eric. And this is the time, guys, to get your questions in. We've got a few already in the chat box, or in the Q&A box, I should say. Chat box is disabled here today. We do have two. We want you to type your questions in the Q&A box. Scroll down to the bottom of your screen, type your questions there. And hey, we're going to the top of the hour, so you've got about 30 minutes for this Q&A session where you can be a part of the conversation. So let's get to some of the questions here. Carol, thank you, Carol, for being a part of the conversation. Are you planning on bringing in entertainment regularly? Singers, pianists, etc.? Who would like to answer that?
I'll answer that. Absolutely, Carol. We will focus on the local entertainers and musicians in the area, and we will have a lot of different types of entertainment. I mean, just envision that pool with an entertainer outside while you're sitting out under the stars drinking a glass of Prosecco or champagne and listening to the music. So absolutely, music is a huge part of our program.
It sounds magical. Thanks for that. The visuals there, Chris Frankel, nicely done. Carol, we hope that that answered your questions. If you have another one, please feel free to type it in the Q&A box and we'll be happy to answer them. That's what we're here for today. So the next question we've got from Anonymous, what meals are included? Eric?
Yeah, sure. So with in the independent living, with the base fees, you do get breakfast and you will get dinner. We will have a la carte lunch in the dining room. You can come and sit down in the dining room, but that would be a la carte. And also we'll have the bistro available for a charge as well. But what's included is the breakfast, which is a full breakfast, and then your dinner.
Okay, fantastic. The next question, this one should be for you, Brian. From Faith. Thank you, Faith. I am meeting more and more clients who are gluten-free. Can you accommodate a gluten-free diet?
Absolutely, Faith. We got experience doing that across the company portfolio. A lot of people tend to think that it's very restrictive when it comes to a gluten-free diet, but there are plenty of options out there to modify everything, any dish, whether, it's a chicken cutlet, we can get the gluten-free breadcrumbs. And then when it comes to the starch component, most, rice, potatoes, all those things are already naturally gluten-free, and we're not going to add anything to them that would limit your ability to eat them.
Yeah, and I think you guys can cater too to people who have maybe diabetes or
Absolutely.
Something that they need a little bit more help or more attention paid to their particular meals.
Absolutely. So, when it comes to people on a diabetic diet, there's sugar-free options, there's no sugar added options. Also recently came out, when it comes to studies that even if you are diabetic, it's safe to have like a smaller portion of it. So even if you wanted the piece of cake, we could do a half piece of cake or a sliver of cake with some sugar-free ice cream so that you can get your sweet fix without having to worry about your blood sugar levels.
That's perfect. So almost we don't really want you can leave the community anytime, but we like you to stay. We're trying to give you incentives to stick around, right?
Absolutely.
So that would certainly be one of them. Thank you for that, and we hope that answers your question. Again, great time, guys, to get your questions in. Type them into the bottom of your screen where it says Q&A. Next, we've got Anne. What is cost? Are meals included? And we did just talk about some of the meals. So maybe Eric, let's talk about kind of cost range here because it will determine what kind of care somebody needs.
So in the independent living, we start your base fees include pretty much everything in the community. So our starting rates right now is $54.35. That's to get into the independent living, and then it goes from there. But that does include internet, cable, all the activities, the dining we've discussed, your apartment, the maintenance of your apartment, transportation, housekeeping. So those fees do include everything. So when you take into account, you know, what you live at home and how much you spend at home for different things, you know, it really does, you know, minimize those costs as well. So.
Yeah, and we weren't lying, guys, when we said we're in Florida. We had a sunny to start. Now it is pouring rain. That is a typical summer afternoon in Florida, and this will be gone probably by the end of the show. So you could probably hear the rain coming down, but again, a typical Florida afternoon, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, typical what you'll see here. But certainly not enough rain that'll keep you away from the pool, the beautiful pool we have here. So another question for you. When will you be ready to give tours?
So inside, right now we have a beautiful leasing center. So the leasing center does have a lot of resources. So we have everything from videos, we have floor plans, we have a great team here that's been together a long time, even before here, that works very well together and are very experienced in senior living and can help with a lot of different things, not just, you know, what we do here at Arbor, but they can help in a lot of ways with families and future prospects. But you know, coming here, you can get a lot of that information that you're going to need. But I know touching and feeling and seeing for yourself live and physically in person, that's a big thing too. But it's going to be most likely sometime in late December, early January, by the time we have a certificate of occupancy, and we can then get, you know, actually do tours inside the building.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is some people more visual than others, right, can sort of look at the pictures and say, oh, this is going to be great. And when we create these visuals for these communities, they're pretty dead on. So what you see in that fly-through video that looks wonderful and real, it's essentially what you're going to get. So, and we've had people that have already signed up as part of the Founders Club members. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we are through with the Founders Club. So the Founders Club was the first 20 depositors.
Yeah.
We're over 30% filled in terms of depositors at this point for the independent living. We've moved on to the Charter Club. So the Charter Club is another club of depositors that receives perks and benefits. We'd love you to come to the leasing center and meet with the team and go through all those perks and different benefits that you'll get as being one of those depositors. But we absolutely have a lot of depositors. We have monthly events that we get together with all our depositors, whether it's lunch at Seasons 52 or Maggiano's or those different restaurants we get together. Next month we're doing an event at the Murakami Gardens for our depositors. So we're doing a lot of engagement with the depositors as well, which is going very well.
Yeah, and we should say to keep this conversation going even after today, we're going to have a video about Murakami Gardens, more information about that, and information coming from people who actually put a deposit down. They're best friends now because they met through this process. It's fantastic. So you'll want to go to www.seniorlivinglive to watch all of that. Next question will go to Chris Frankel. Chris, do you have a fitness program?
We definitely have a fitness program. We will have a fitness professional on site who will lead all or most of the fitness programs. We'll have a state-of-the-art gym and a yoga room, and we will, you know, work with you for your fitness goals and your lifestyle goals, right? Some people may not have a fitness goal of, you know, getting buff and building big muscles, but you might have a goal of going to your daughter's house for Christmas and picking up your grandchild and putting them on your lap. So those are all really great goals that you can work with your fitness professional with in the gym and outside as well.
Fantastic, thank you. A follow-up from Faith, Ryan, for you about gluten-free. I'm hearing that the gluten is hidden in the sauces. Is it possible to really eliminate the source of the problems for a person who needs gluten-free food?
Absolutely, because all of our sauces are scratch made in-house, so anything that goes into it, we're controlling everything that goes into that end product. So if we need to ensure that, you know, a sauce is made 100% gluten-free, then instead of thickening it with a roux, you can use something like a slurry or, you know, arrowroot, potato starch. There's a lot of other options out there so that you're not adding any gluten into the final product.
Great answer. And Faith, we hope that follows up and eliminates any fears you may have about that. I know that is something that can be serious and that you would want to ensure that your food is completely gluten-free. So thanks again for following up.
And I have a lot of family members that have celiac disease, so I'm very familiar with the process Thanksgiving, like the holidays, you know, I'm making 2 different meals basically. So
Perfect. So you've got a lot of practice with
yeah,
it.
a little bit. Yeah.
All right, perfect. This one will be for Eric. Are there levels of care charges for memory care?
So yes, so in our assisted living and memory care, there are different charges for the care that's needed for a resident. That's all
Okay.
done through an assessment basis through our nursing department that'll see what type of care is needed, and then based on that care are the different levels of charges at that point. And we have those rates and those charges, and if you'd like to stop by Leasing Center, we absolutely can sit down and talk through those.
Yeah, and if somebody is, you know, because Florida is a hotspot destination, so people are coming from Wisconsin, they're coming from New York, they're coming from all over the country, how can they get in touch with you at that point?
Sure. So there's a couple different things you could do. Obviously, there's our website,
Yep.
arbordelray.com, but also calling the leasing center, speaking with one of us, myself. We have Jarrett, Jenny, Denise. That's the team here at the leasing center. They're all very well experienced in the senior living and can walk through, do virtual tours with anyone over the computer. So we're more than able to help anyone who's not in the local area as well.
Okay. Chris Frankel, another question for you. Will you offer off-site activities?
Absolutely. So as I think we all have mentioned, you know, we are so fortunate to have the Murakami Gardens right beside us. So obviously we'll be going over there. We've built a great, strong partnership with them. In addition to that, you know, Eric referenced that we're in such a great location here between Boca and Delray, and there are so many things to do in this area. You could go on vacation every weekend here, finding something new to do. So we have transportation here. We will definitely schedule all kinds of trips that you can go out and be social with your friends and enjoy and try new things. So absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'd like to add to that. I mean, we're expecting a very active lifestyle at the Arbor Delray, especially in our independent living. Most, if not all, our depositors at this point are very active, you know, still driving, enjoying, you know, that independence of life. So we're really looking to have an active lifestyle, not just inside the community, but outside the community as well. So that's really exciting, and what we've seen and heard from our depositors, that's something they're looking forward to as well.
Yeah, and Eric, just we'll keep talking here
Yeah,
with you.
sure.
Anonymous, somebody anonymously put in this question. Will I be able to see my doctors if I need to? Will you have transportation to appointments?
Of course. So we'll have full transportation at the Arbor Delray. There will be scheduled days for doctors, so you would just sign up at the front desk most likely, so that you know what time, what day you have your doctor's appointment. Our transportation will drop off and pick up. So absolutely, there'll be a reasonable distance that we will go in terms of how far the distance would be, but you know, we will definitely have transportation to doctors.
Perfect. Another question from Anonymous, and this is probably one of my favorite questions because I love the answer, and maybe Chris and Eric, you can both tag team, and this is going to be talking about aging in place. Someone wants to know, my mom will be in independent living now, but what happens if she needs more care? Will she have to move out to another community? And the answer is no. Go
Right.
ahead, guys, take it away.
Yeah, sure. So we're a full service community in terms of the fact that we do have the independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So as a resident ages, of course, we want them to age in place and stay with us at the Arbor at Delray. So there is that continuum of care. So, and it's usually a process, right? You know, we're going to be very communicative with families and residents, and as a resident ages and has different care needs, we're going to make sure we communicate that, and we're going to make sure that care is taken care of, whether that's in the independent living, assisted living, or memory care. So, you know, and depending on how much care that is, a resident could stay in the independent living with some third-party help. So it's not only just a one-step process. There could be different solutions for different residents and different families to stay at the Arbor Delray and even stay in the independent living with some help as well.
Yeah, and on engagement, we really do try to cater to the individuals. We know what they want on a day in, day out basis, and we try to make their day as best as it can be.
We do, and there's also a big social aspect to that too, right? Like a lot of people are concerned about moving levels of care because they've made friendships, they've created relationships with people. So we try really hard to be an inclusive community where you get to know friends in different neighborhoods and different levels of care. So when that time comes that you may have to move, you have friends and you can still come and visit. It's not like you're, you know, moving to a different building. You're still around all the people that you know, and you can continue to participate in the things that you enjoy.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge, especially when you get to a point where you need help from a memory standpoint, cognitive standpoint. It's huge. Okay, again, more questions if you have them. We're going to go to the top of the hour here, so we've got some time. This one is for you, Eric. How many units and what is the layout in terms of floor plans?
Right, so we have 187 units, 89 independent living, 76 assisted living, and 22 memory care.
Okay.
There's a lot of different floor plans, especially in the independent living. Again, that's something, to go through those, we want to do on a more personal basis here at the leasing center or over the phone, but there are a lot of different styles of apartments. So everything from a 1-bedroom to a 1-bedroom with den to 2 full bedrooms with 2 full bath.
Okay.
So a lot of different choices, and they're all in different areas of the independent living. So it's not like all the 2 bedrooms have a certain view or all the 1 bedrooms have a certain view. They're all kind of located all around, so no matter what style you want, you have an opportunity to have the view you want. So I think that that's really important. And then even in our assisted living, it's not just like they're all studios and small apartments. We definitely have large 1-bedroom apartments in the assisted living as well. So all different types of styles.
But when it does come to that view, I have to say it is first come, first serve.
That's
So
right.
if somebody's put their deposit down and they've come out and they've kind of selected where they want to live, that gets taken, right?
Right. So there's a couple different ways to deposit, and one is absolutely a way that you would commit to depositing and picking your apartment, and that would be your apartment, and that's what a lot of our depositors have done. Is they know that style apartment, they know that view, and they know they want to live at the Arbor Delray, and they've made that choice, and that is now their apartment and their future home, and it's exciting, and I think that's a big part of it for a lot of prospects and residents. They want to know where they're moving into, not just the building, but what apartment they want.
Yeah, so if you're watching this today, you're obviously interested, so don't wait. That's what I would say. Okay, great answer to that. And Chris, for you, will I be able to entertain guests in this community? You probably see this all the time.
Absolutely. And as you know, you've seen the flyovers and you've seen some of the beautiful photos of the community. There are so many different places that you can entertain and invite your friends and family to come to. Like, just envision telling your family to come on a Sunday afternoon and we're going to go to the cabana by the pool and we're going to watch the football game and we're going to have some drinks. Like, you're going to be the coolest family member in the whole family. So there's so many great spaces. You can go and watch a movie in the theater. You can entertain in your apartment. You can do, so many different things. So it'll be so great.
Yeah, fantastic. Another question here, can I bring my dog?
Yes, so we absolutely are pet friendly as long as the pet is taken care of. Then you're absolutely welcome at the Arbor Delray.
Yeah, and we should mention that as someone who's been in and out of a lot of Arbor communities, the dogs are like the heroes of the community, and they become mascots. Everybody knows them. They get to see them every day. It's fun.
Yeah. In addition to that, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
We also have a dog park and a dog washing station at the community.
My
so
goodness.
that shows you
What?
how pet friendly we are.
Yeah. I'll I brought my Basset Hound into multiple Arbor communities in Pennsylvania by my house. So
That's
definitely
wonderful.
dog friendly.
Perfect.
And I can say too, we have things like yappy hour. So if you have your pet and you want to come hang out and bring your pup along,
Okay.
you can do that too.
I'm learning. I did not know we had yappy hour. This is amazing. Can I move in? Okay, perfect. All right, a question from Anonymous. My husband needs assisted living. Can we both live here? So let's talk about that a little bit. If somebody's independent, but they have a spouse that needs a little bit of help, how does that work?
So there's multiple different solutions for that and choices for that. One being, again, if they really truly do need assisted living, then he could absolutely live in the assisted living, and she could, one of two things, either have an apartment in the independent living or live in the assisted living with him as well.
Okay.
I would say, depending on the care levels, it could be that she just gets some third-party help with him in the assisted living, and they can live in an assisted living apartment. But that would be something we'd have to do a little bit more discovery and help her on. But absolutely, there's definitely solutions for both of them to live in the community while he gets the care he needs.
Excellent.
Yeah, and just from my experience, that's a fairly common question, and we have across my portfolio anyway. We have plenty of husbands and wives that one might be in assisted living, one might be in independent living, but they either keep 2 separate apartments or they live in the one apartment together and just continue on that way.
Yeah, I've seen that as well, and it seems to work great. You know, the person's getting the care, and then the other person can enjoy where they're at in their senior living journey.
Absolutely.
And can go see their spouse who's getting the complete care that they need.
Same thing when it comes to if somebody needs memory care.
Sure.
Same exact thing. Just because they're in the memory care neighborhood doesn't mean that the spouse can't go over, have meals.
Right.
Go out, visit, all those kinds of things.
Right.
It also alleviates that caregiver burnout.
Right.
So, like you said, your loved one is well taken care of, and you can still interact and still have fun and still be the social person that you need to be. So it meets everybody's needs.
Yeah, and just be the husband or the wife instead of the caretaker.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, it's perfect. Are family and friends allowed to join us for meals or activities? Who wants to
Absolutely.
take that one?
Absolutely. We encourage people to bring their family members in, friends.
Yeah.
You have a private dining room depending
Okay.
on the number of people. If you have a handful of people, you can reserve the private dining room, and we'll set up a meal service in there. If you want to have a party, something along those lines, you'll just coordinate with the director here, and then we'll take care of, okay, it might not be in the private dining room because you have too many people, but we'll find an available space in the community where we can host those types of events.
Yeah, great. Do you want to add to that at all, Chris?
I would just say too, absolutely, any activities that we host on site or off, we always invite our families and friends to visit us and accompany their friend or loved one along, because it's always more fun when you're with your friends and your family to do things. So why not let them enjoy our beautiful site as well?
Sure. A question here from Adrian, and Adrian, this is how I know you were listening, because something that Eric said she's going to piggyback off of. She's got a question now.
Sure.
Do all apartments have balconies? Because you mentioned that.
Right. So not all apartments have balconies.
Okay.
But there's a lot of different apartments that have balconies, and some of them face the pool and some of them face outside the community. So there's a lot of different styles that do have balconies and do have different, face different areas of the community, but not all of them have balconies.
Okay. A question here about rehab. Will you have on-site rehab? I know a lot of Arbor communities do. What about this one?
Sure. So we will not have skilled nursing
Okay.
in terms of skilled nursing, but we will have therapy in terms of if you need therapy, we'll have third-party home health, third-party therapy companies with a presence inside the community. If a resident needs those services, then there'll be an opportunity to have those done inside the community. If it's just some type of therapy, it's skilled nursing they would need, then we won't have that, but we will have resources and be able to refer them to the ones that we might work with or partner with on the outside.
Gotcha. Okay. We've got about 15 minutes left in this webinar. Again, we're going to go about an hour here to the top of the hour. So a good time to get your questions in or some follow-ups from what you've heard already from our panel. A question here, will you have hookups for electric vehicles?
Yes, so we'll actually have multiple hookups. So
Okay.
we'll be able to take up to, I believe it's 8 cars at a time, charging at one time.
Great, great, okay. So we talked about some of those depositors, right? Some of the people who are a part of the Founders Club that were really the first to put deposits down. What's been their feedback? Because these are the people that are just like those who are watching, that are interested in the community, they're ready to move in the second it opens.
Sure.
What has been their feedback to you?
I think there's multiple reasons they're choosing it, and one being a location, just being in their sweet spot of where they've lived for over the last 20, 30, 40 years, and all their different shops and friends and everybody in this location, to just the community and the building itself and what Alliance has done in terms of building this senior living community, but with that resort and enhanced lifestyle or enhanced look, if you will. That's something that has really, really attracted them to the community. And then the amenities and the Arbor company and how our team members and how we run our services in terms of the community as well.
Yeah, and I know that we're still, again, currently under construction, so you could come here, but it's not going to look the way it looks visually from the fly-throughs and some of the video you saw earlier today. It will look like that, just not yet. But Chris, let's talk about that feel of a community, right? So we can't get that feel yet because it's still currently under construction. But how does that sway people when they walk in the door? I mean, there has to be a feel for people to want to call this home, right?
Well, at the beginning, Paul talked a little bit about how we have a really great culture of our staff, and that kind of rubs off into the feel of the building. because when you walk into an Arbor community, hopefully especially at the Arbor of Delray, you feel that family-like atmosphere. You feel how people are here because they care. This isn't just a job to make a living. This is because we love our residents. And that rubs off then to our residents, who form great relationships and great friendships with not only the staff but with each other. So it is a feeling when you walk in and you know that it's there. Everybody is busy, everybody enjoys each other, everybody knows each other. It's a feeling of community, and we work really hard to build that.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fantastic.
just piggybacking off of that, and I think in addition to what you asked me before and what the depositors, why they've been depositing, is that feeling that Chris has talked about, just even here in the leasing center not being open. Jenny, Jarrett, myself, who opened this leasing center back in February, we've all got many years of working with each other. So the team we're building here is even, you have that feeling already, and I think the depositors already get that feel of the camaraderie and the family-like atmosphere that we have here, and they know that's just going to translate as I'm hiring more department heads, and you know, we have that ability to hire, you know, that team members that are going to have that same feeling. So
Yeah, that's great. And one thing I want to mention, Ryan, when we go back to food, we talked about, you know, you could come downstairs and you can, you know, dine in the dining room. But you know what? People can take that food and they can just call it up and have it sent up to their room, right? Or their apartment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to explain it, and I was trying to explain it to people,
Okay.
is the concept of room service in a hotel. You know,
Okay.
it's tray, covered plate,
Yeah.
rolled silverware, all the condiments, your drink, all that kind of stuff brought right up to your room, and then obviously our staff will come back later, pick it up, bring it all back down to be washed in the kitchen and stuff like that. So it makes life very easy on the residents if they do want to eat in their room.
Yeah, and that was a really awkward segue, so bad on me there, but I had that in my mind, thinking that, you know, people don't have to mingle with others if they're just, you know, not feeling it that day.
And I mean, obviously we encourage everybody to come down
Sure.
and eat, not just for the food, but I mean the social component of it as well. You know,
Right.
when mealtime's a great time for people to socialize and stuff like that. We don't encourage people to isolate in their rooms,
Sure.
but I mean there's going to be times maybe you want to watch a ball game and you just want to eat in
Right.
the room or whatever like that. I respect that. I'm a huge sports fan, so absolutely
Good.
we can accommodate that. So
Perfect. I love it. Okay. Will you have housekeeping services and laundry available?
Sure. So we will have housekeeping. So residents will have one full housekeeping every week. Come to the apartment, they'll mop, clean the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, do a full cleaning of the apartment. If something does happen in the apartment and it's not their day, all they have to do is call down to the housekeeper. They say they spilled something, broke something.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to come up and take care of that on an off day that's not your housekeeping day. So we will have that. The housekeepers also do the linens as they are in the apartment each week for the resident as well.
And it really is this kind of community, and all of the Arbor communities try to be just straight turnkey, where you walk in and you enjoy. Housekeeping is a part of it. Everything is sort of included, so you don't have to lift a finger.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely, yes. So everything from the activities, you'll have a monthly activities calendar, you'll have the full dining menu, we have the transportation. So like you're saying, it is turnkey. It's basically you bring your things, set up your apartment, and enjoy.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people, because there is an independent living option here, this will be their first time living in a senior living community.
Right.
They don't know what to expect. And I, from what I hear from the people already who are coming in to live in independent living and beyond, they're excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't be excited not to have to worry about cooking or cleaning or you know, even driving if you don't want to? So yes, so they are super excited to kind of just enjoy, right? Just don't worry about having to cook for yourself. You know, just go downstairs to the dining room,
Sure.
go watch a movie, go to the gym, you know, take an art class. You know, that's a lot in just one day, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, I would just add to that. It is great to come and enjoy life and relax and enjoy that, you know, that whole feeling of, wow, I've got to this point. But we also do need a reason to get out of bed in the morning, right? We all need that purpose in life. So in addition to that, if that's you, we also have opportunities to be in a committee or be a part of a resident council or to volunteer or to, you know, lead things outside of the Delray community as a whole. But, you know, if you like to cook, we have cooking classes. If you like to lead things, we do that. So it's not, if you don't want to come and just relax, we also have that purpose-driven lifestyle as well.
Fantastic. A question from Patrick. It says furniture, question mark, question mark. So we're going to go two ways here with you on that one. We're going to talk about the furniture that you're going to see in the community. And you saw a little bit about what it should look like with the video we had earlier. But furniture, somebody wants to bring their own? I mean, what do these
So that's a great
apartments look
question.
like? Yeah.
The apartments are unfurnished, so you would bring your own furniture and decorate your apartment the way you would like.
Okay. And then the rest of the community is
So the rest
furnished.
of the community is well appointed, you know,
Yeah.
very more modern style, resort style furnishings, and everything you'd see if you're on our website and you see the video, everything the way you see it in that video is the way it's going to look when we go in. I mean, it's a perfect rendering of how it's going to look as you walk into the community.
Perfect. So if you like what you saw there with the video that we have been running throughout this webinar, then you're going to want to live here for sure. Okay, so can I cook in my apartment?
Yes, so
Of
full
course.
kitchens in the apartments,
Yeah.
Full fridge, dishwasher, stove, oven, microwave, everything you need, cabinets, so full kitchen.
It might make Ryan a little sad though, if you did that.
I don't cook at home that often anymore because
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, Margaret asks, are there washer dryers in the apartments? Also, what is the square foot range of apartments? That's a great question.
Yeah, so yes, washer and dryers in each apartment. Square footage, it ranges just a little over 600 square feet roughly to 1,100 square feet.
Okay.
And all in between.
Great, great. So as we wind down here, guys, we've got about 7 to 8 minutes left. Again, you can get those questions in at the last minute. I'll still read them out. I'd like to hear what is your favorite part about this community. It's still under construction, as we mentioned over and over and over again. It's not quite done yet, but again, we know the renderings are going to come to life.
Yeah.
So we'll start with you, Eric. What is your favorite part about this community?
Well, that's a tough question. So, you know, absolutely location is great. The building itself, to be able to walk into a building on a daily basis as a leader of the community and walk into a building like this is unlike no other, and it's just going to be awesome to do that. But I would just say that the experience of being able to build a team and have a hand in every resident that's going to live there and every team member is going to work there is just, to me, it's why I joined this project. And to me, it's just building this team and building something for the residents and being a part of each one of them is exciting to me. And
Awesome.
it's not something you get to do every day. So
That's true, building something from the ground
Yep.
up. Yeah,
Yep.
that's great. Ryan.
I would say for me, the neatest feature that we don't have across the company in a lot of our buildings is the display window to the kitchen. So you guys can actually legitimately look in, see your food being prepared. You can watch the chefs flambe some sauces and everything like that and go, ooh, ah. So that's something that's not, you know, across the portfolio in every community, and I think that, you know, it's the full transparency about it. You guys can see the food being prepared. You can look in there and actually see that the kitchen's spotless, all those types of things, and I think that's a really neat feature.
Cool. Chris.
Gosh, there are so many things I'm excited about. I can't pick just one, but I would say, first of all, meeting you. I can't wait to meet the residents that move into the community and just work together to build a lifestyle that you all are looking for. I think location-wise, I'm really excited about the building as a whole with the pool and the things we can do there, and also the movie theater. I love that we can have, you know, educational classes and watch movies in real time and all of those great things that just make life worth living.
Great answers from all of you. And you guys who are watching are doing your job too. I said send more questions in, and what are you doing? You're sending more questions in. I love it. So keep it going. Okay, Anonymous wants to know, are jackets required?
So our jackets required. So the
It
a
sounds
lot of
like
the-
it, right?
Yeah. So a lot of those rules, if you will, in the community haven't been ironed out just yet.
Okay.
So dress code for the dining room, I would say, is probably going to be more like resort casual.
Okay.
You know, maybe not shorts in the dining room, but we'll see what you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be the resident's home. So we're going to build a resident committee. So you're going to have a president of the resident council. You're going to have someone who's, you know, handles the food and beverage part of the resident council, someone who handles the dining room part of it. So it'll be kind of consensus as we go
Okay.
of what the residents feel and what they want in their home. So, you know, we'll come up with something to start, but if we need to adjust, we'll do that as the residents have a say in that as well. It's their dining room.
Perfect.
If you want to wear a jacket, wear a jacket. That's the way I look at it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. From Patrick, timing of assisted living availability.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at probably April, roughly
Okay.
April, as our assisted living opening, and that's not due to mostly construction. It's really due to that's an area of the building that has to be licensed by the state of Florida.
Got it.
So there's a lot more processes in place and surveys and license applications and things that have to be done that take time, and that's the reason why that's going to be behind the independent living.
Okay, great. The walkability of the area, and we did talk about the Murakami Gardens,
Yeah.
which, my goodness, if you want to make that a place that you walk every day, it's gorgeous.
It is.
It is just stunning. Can we talk about the walkability portion of this?
Sure. So we do have some walking paths around the community. We also have a nice sitting area that I just saw yesterday as I was walking the community that they're building. That's going to be on the back side of the community that overlooks like a kind of a smaller lake with a fountain that's going to be there as well. So there's definitely areas to walk around here. But as you said, each resident is going to have a membership to the Murakami Museum. So that is a great area to be able to walk. It's beautiful. It's close. I'm sure we'll have availability for transportation since it's so close. So you wouldn't even really have to worry about how you're getting there. And you know, if you want to take daily walks there with your annual pass, you can do that.
I love it. Perfect. We are winding down here to the very final minutes of this live edition of Senior Living Live. If somebody's interested, they're watching right now, what do they need to do? What's the first step for them to be a part of this community?
Sure. Well, we'd love you to give us a call here at the Leasing Center, 561-710-2332. Again, we have a lot of different resources here. Again, I have a full sales team here, Jenny, Jarrett, and Denise, very experienced. So I would say the first step would be call, make an appointment, come on in, and you know, they'll be able to give you all the details you need and get you as a depositor and get coming and meeting your new friends.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, again, we thank you all for being here. And if you want to know more about this community, we're going to have more video content coming up in the upcoming days and weeks. You can head on over to www.seniorlivinglive.com. All of our content there, it's a vault full of videos, is all about senior living, but we'll have some specifically about this community, this beautiful community here at Delray Beach in the wonderful state of Florida. So for Paul, for Chris, for Ryan, and for Eric, my name is Melissa. Thank you so much for being a part of our conversation today. Have a great day, everybody.